So I wanted to turn the camera on for a second, and this is going to be a meandering video, so if you don't want that, click off right now. But converting this box truck into a livable, workable space it's been quite simple. It's been simple in the way that there's nothing that's like wildly complex, and even the stuff that is complex, you can always simplify it. And that's kind of part of the reason why I'm doing it, and part of the sort of name for my channel is just simplifying things down. If things are complex, break it down into something simple. As long as it works, it's not really a big deal. With that being said, you know, I'm currently stood here in the truck with 2 sheets of 4x8 plywood to put on my walls, 2 sheets of 4x8 insulation to use in my ceiling, 4 upper cabinet doors to hang. I've got some plywood in the storage to use for the bottom of my upper cabinets. I have a long list of things, and none of them are complex. Like, just with this insulation, it's just cutting it and sticking it up. It's really not very complicated. But it's so time consuming, all of this stuff. I took a leap of faith in doing this to be like, I'm just going to do it and deal with it. And something I think has clicked in doing this process has clicked in me in terms of realizing, pretty much everything is just doable. Like, there are so many challenges that I myself have like put off in life, or got somebody else to do it, or just maybe avoided, because it's like, oh, well, you know, that's for someone that's qualified. That's for somebody, you know, else to do. I can't do it, or I don't have time to do it, whatever it is. But I think I've realized that everything is doable. And every problem that you come across, for example, I have these sheets of insulation, and I didn't think it was too much of a big deal to hold off on doing it until I get all of my electronic wires running through and stuff like that. However, now after experiencing what it's like to be in this in the middle of the day, I've realized how absolutely burning hot Houston weather bakes this metal roof, despite the fact that the solar panels are on top. So it's things like that have shown me that things are doable more than what a lot of people realize. It just takes time, which is kind of the second point, which is that even the simple things take so much time to do, which is why, you know, people pay people to do stuff, right? And as an example of this, the situation that I had with my power, it should be in a video that I will have uploaded by now, but if not, I will put in this whole process here and talk over it. But basically what happened is that my inverter charger and battery it was shorting, there were sparks flying, and it was 2 days that it took me to dismantle the whole thing and then reassemble the whole thing and tweak it in order to get it to work. But what it is that in doing that, breaking it down all myself and then reassembling it, I now have a very deep knowledge of my own electrical system. And as of right now, I'm very, very conscious of what is the weak points, what is the strong points, and how much time it's going to take to redo stuff. It's going to be shorter next time because I've done it now, you know, so I know what to look for. And that's the thing, is that simple things still take time to do properly, but the experience you get is kind of invaluable. Learning how heat transfer works, learning the specific direction of heat transfer that you should focus on in a warm, humid climate like Houston is going to be very different from insulating a truck that's going to be used in Massachusetts, Boston, or whatever. So all of this stuff, I love to learn. I love understanding how things work. The struggle that I've had is the time that it takes in order to do these things. So I don't ultimately know what the point of this video was. I kind of just had to get these thoughts out. But maybe some of the people who have gone through this process themselves have had the same conclusion. I've got to say that I admire the people that have done this for making it look easy. It's not easy. It's simple. It's not easy. But also like just the resilience that you develop in doing this. I think confidence that if something breaks, something, you know, goes wrong, a situation comes up, that you can deal with it. And that just brings me on to my final point, which is one of the genesises of me wanting to do this was a few years ago in Texas, there was a big freeze. And I was in a house where the temperature was plummeting. The Texas houses are not insulated and built to withstand really that extreme cold, and the power was out. And at the time, I didn't even know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea, and I kind of froze. I kind of was like, well, just stay here. Well, I mean, what else do you do? You just stay, right, in a place. And that was one of the first times in my life that I felt so unbelievably helpless. Because I had no idea. I didn't know what to Google. I just didn't have the, I guess, thought processes to get out of it. So I just didn't do anything. And it took somebody else in order to pull us out of that situation and into a safe one. Potentially saving our lives in the process. And I always think about that time of like the fear and the helplessness feeling of not knowing what to do. And of course there are going to be many times in life where that happens, but I never wanted to be in that position again of just flummoxed. And this situation has forced me to get into a place of like, you can't do that anymore. Because the thing is that like in my work part of my life, I feel confident, I feel competent, I have gone through it in many different ways and feel very prepared for the situations that are going to come up. And, you know, how to navigate them. They still may be challenging, but I feel very prepared for it because I've been through it. You know, in my work life, thousands and thousands of hours doing what I do. So it's very difficult for something to be so surprising and come out of left field that leaves me flummoxed. Whereas in this situation, everything is brand new. And yes, people have been through it, but all of this practical side of things is like mind-blowing. So it's a really weird situation to be in, to be so green and so new and just be kind of like, oh my God, this feels like the biggest deal. And then you look it up on YouTube and someone's like, yeah, I've been through this a million times. Here's how simple it is. So it's just a weird juxtaposition. You can't do nothing. You have to do something. You have to figure it out. You have to take action and come up with a solution in order to do it. So this may sound like just like, well, this is just being an adult. Maybe that's what this is. But in choosing to live in this, in choosing to live and work in this situation, it has switched something in me to be a lot more proactive, but also leaving more space in my life in order for this shit to happen. Because up to this point, I've not really had a lot of space to deal with shit breaking. You know, I didn't have 2 days to assign to fix my power situation, so I had to make it. So now building in white space into my life in order to make sure that it's there to maintain, you know, be proactive about making sure that stuff that may break down gets figured out beforehand is being really crucial. So yeah, something shifted in me in the past couple of weeks to just give me a very different outlook on things, not in a bad way, but in a more empowered and more proactive kind of way. So I'm a little less nervous moving forward in some ways, and a little more nervous knowing that shit breaks and gonna have to deal with it. And who knows what that's gonna be. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to doing this, and I will see you in the next video.